This is Bao TV.
Welcome back to Bao TV, Bao News Network. We're actually tracking Hurricane Ida as it makes its way towards Louisiana and the southeast coast. We are seeing some significant intensification. It's actually moving across the western section of Cuba right now, and it doesn't appear to be actually weakening, which is typical of a system that's actually moving across land. But it actually is going to remain a hurricane as it ventures into the Gulf of Mexico. And as we're tracking this system, we are trying to appeal to as many residents in the region of southern Louisiana, along the coast of Alabama also, to take this storm, this hurricane, very, very seriously. It does have the capacity to become a Category 4 hurricane. Right now, they are National Hurricane Center is pretty much focused on it becoming a Category 3, but let's not doubt the possibility as a result of the moist air as well as upper level low that's over the region of New Orleans, Louisiana, which is actually producing quite a bit of rainfall right now. That is actually going to complicate the situation because now we have a hurricane moving in, which has a potential to impact the area in some localities with up to 20 inches of rain, and the soil is very saturated in the region of Louisiana, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans. So as we take a closer look at this storm, we saw quite a bit of intensification prior to it actually going over the area of Pinar del Rio in Cuba. And also we were taking a closer look as it was approaching the area of La Colombia near Cuba, and we were very, very interested in seeing what was actually happening as it impacted the land in Cuba. As it moves across, we actually see it strengthening and consolidating. Some of the outer squalls are actually making an impact in the region of Key West, as you can see on our infrared GOS 16 satellite imagery here. Let's just take a closer look at what's actually happening with the track of the storm. We can actually see that it's actually hurricane warnings for the region of Cuba as it makes its way across. And then actually as it merges into the Gulf of Mexico, we're looking at sometime around midday on Saturday when it will actually become a major hurricane, possibly upgraded to a Category 2 or possibly a Category 3. And then we do see those hurricane warnings and on tropical storm warnings extending from the region of Louisiana into the region all the way across to Mississippi, as well as eastern Texas borderline between Louisiana and Texas. This system is going to bring a significant amount of storm surge, and that is one of the things that we wanted to take a closer look at. As we mentioned earlier, if you actually take a closer look at the system, you see that very, very telltale sign of very, very tight wall of the system actually making its way into the Gulf of Mexico. So combined with the fact that there's very, very limited shearing forces that are going to prevent it or inhibit it from actually forming, and also significant forces are assisting with the outflow of this storm, which basically means it allows it for latent heat to be released as it continues to tighten. That this is going to contribute to the pressure actually dropping in the system. But basically it has all of this oceanic heat energy that it can actually convert into substantial kinetic power to actually develop into a very, very powerful Category 4 hurricane before impacting land in the flood-prone regions of New Orleans, Baton Rouge, as well as Lafayette, Louisiana. So we are very, very concerned about the significance of this storm. Keep in mind too that we are looking at August 23rd, 2005, when the system known as Katrina contributed to the loss of life of over 2,000 people and the property damage of over 125 billion US dollars. So we are very concerned about the potential of this system, Hurricane Ida, to be significant contributor to casualties as well as loss of property as well as other negative aspects of this hurricane impacting land, especially at a very, very sensitive time right now with us within the midst of this terrible pandemic. So there seems to be a compounding effect of very, very horrible situations compounding on top of each other right now. But we're going to continue to monitor this system. Let's take a look at what's actually happening with respect to our concern about the weather with respect to storm surge. As you can see from the region Morgan City all the way across to Mobile Bay, Alabama, we are concerned about storm surge. Most notably, the region that is in the direct way, which is near the mouth of the Mississippi River. Keep in mind, this is going to be 10 to 15 feet of water that is actually going to be surged into this area, which is low-lying area. And if we understand exactly what's happening with previous storms as far as this area being prone to flooding, then we're very, very concerned about significant flooding in the region of Lake Pontchartrain, as well as Mobile Bay, as well as the region for the Mississippi River. But this extends all the way across to um, the border between Louisiana as well as Texas, as well as into the region of Alabama and Mississippi. So we can see here from our from NOAA National Hurricane Center that we anticipate possibly just west of New Orleans up to 15 to 20 inches of rain concentrated in this area. And of course, Lake Charles is still recovering from significant damage from previous storms from the 2020 hurricane season, and this is not going to be assisting that recovery in any way at all. So this area is very, very still trying to recover from the significant damage as a result of storms that impacted the region in the 2020 hurricane season. If you look further beyond the coastline into Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as Jackson, Mississippi, you do see that they anticipate that rain will be extending all the way inland, significant amount of rainfall within the region of Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, even Little Rock, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee. Now, that brings us to another topic. Keep in mind that this area, as far as western Tennessee and western North Carolina, as a result of previous storm activity and severe flooding in the region, this is just going to be a very, very horrible situation if we're looking at an additional 6 to 10 inches of rain in western Tennessee after the significant loss of life and flooding that was resulted only a few days ago. So we're really concerned here at Bow News Network as far as the impact of this potential storm of a Category 4. Keep in mind that with Category 3 storm, we're looking in a region of 110, 111 miles per hour as this system makes its way across into the region. Category 3 is 111 to 129 miles per hour. And then Category 4 starts at 130 miles an hour and higher. What we're really concerned about is that storm surge, a significant amount of walls of water flushing and going into the area, inundating this area that's already very, very saturated soil. So we're really concerned about what will actually happen with respect to this system as it moves on board. But we can see that even in the region of along the coastline of Louisiana, between Morgan City and Ocean and the Ocean area, that we see rainfall is anticipated between 15 to 20 inches of rain actually being able to come down in already super saturated area, coupled with the fact in the same area anticipating 10 to 15 feet of storm surge. So as we look further on the precipitation model, as we see actually this system actually making its way present more into the Gulf of Mexico. We actually see it there over the area of Cuba. There's actually storm activity even prior to this storm impacting New Orleans, Louisiana area. There's already rainfall as a result of an upper level low that's impacting their area. We don't see any kind of shearing force that is going to be inhibiting this storm. So a combination of low shear as well as moist mid-level air, very warm water is going to be a prescription for a very vigorous thunderstorm activity. And of course, we mentioned that it's going to convert a lot of this heat energy. Sea surface temperatures are extending all the way to extreme depths, but at the sea surface temperature of 85 to 87 degrees, this is just additional fuel. It's almost like jet fuel or nitro for this hurricane as it makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico to actually become a very strong and very powerful, potentially Category 4 storm. As far as moving forward, we just wanted to make sure that we highlight the fact that this is the best time for residents to be making the very best preparations. Definitely plan your evacuation at this particular time. Make use of Friday, the latter evening Friday night, so that you can make the preparations you need as far as the evacuation. Ask yourself simple questions. Are you going to evacuate to a point where you're going to leave the state of Louisiana and possibly retreat to the region of central Texas just to get out of the way of this potential catastrophic hurricane that is heading the way of New Orleans, Lafayette, Baton Rouge area? This is not a hurricane that people can say we're just going to batter down, and prepare for. This is a very dangerous system, and we are still considering the fact that it may even, the winds may gust as farther than 130 miles per hour, which is very destructive, combined with the fact of the significant amount of storm surge that is going to be felt in the area. So this is not the time to be negotiating as far as whether you're going to evacuate or not. State of Louisiana has already declared mandatory evacuations for the area, so please consider them and make sure that you abide by all of their recommendations for retreating to storm shelters that are well equipped to handle Category 5 storm winds as well as possible flooding. And please make sure that you take all the necessary precautions, especially in this pandemic, to make sure that you protect yourself with the necessary PPE protection material going forward. We want to make sure that we highlight the fact too that make sure that you have non-perishable emergency supplies, also ample supply of water and food as this storm prepares to impact and strike the area of New Orleans and the Lafayette area of Louisiana. Keep in mind that the wide scope of this system most likely is going to impact not only the region of Louisiana, low-lying flood-prone areas of Louisiana and the shore area, but it's going to also impact possibly even as far as Houston with tropical force winds, depending on where it actually makes landfall, and as far east as Mobile, Alabama, and cities along the coast in Mississippi. So this is definitely going to be a very severe situation as this system actually makes its way into the region of Louisiana. We do want to make sure that we highlight the fact that they are mandatory evacuations. We wanted to make sure that we repeat this for this region. We do not want to repeat as far as casualties are concerned with what coming up on this almost the 16th anniversary. The 16th anniversary of the 2005 event for Hurricane Katrina. So we definitely wanted to make a note here that let's not try to repeat what happened, and also make sure that we take advantage of this particular time going forward, make the best of this moments that we have prior to the storm starting to impact the land. We anticipate as early as tomorrow evening that tropical force winds and even gusts will be felt in the region of New Orleans. So we do have less than 24 hours to prepare before the impact of these tropical force gusts will be felt in this region. So we definitely wanted to make a note here as far as going forward, what we need to do as far as getting prepared for this system as it makes its way inland. We do want to highlight also we are in the middle of a heat wave. And as you can see, temperatures in the region as far as the western coast, west coast, California, Redding, Sacramento area, Palmdale, California, are in the 100 degrees. Even Yuma, Arizona, we're looking at 112. Phoenix, Arizona, 100. Flagstaff area, Arizona, very, very high temperatures. And also temperatures are in the Central Plains states, looking at Nebraska, Kansas, as well as Oklahoma. And there's severe pockets of weather along the border of Iowa, as well as Minnesota and Wisconsin. And we're also looking at severe weather in the region of along the border of eastern Montana, as well as North and Dakotas. So there are a few hot spots that are still here with us, lingering. Of course, there are also wildfires that are still battling. Brave firefighters are still trying to battle in the region of the southwest, which is facing a significant drought. So going back to what we're looking at here as far as this hurricane making landfall very shortly, this is the best time to make your evacuation route. Plan your evacuation route for yourself and your family as this system prepares to venture into the Gulf of Mexico, exiting the area of exiting the region of Pinar del Rio area of Cuba, and we anticipate a severe flooding and a lot of damage as a result of this storm hurricane as it makes its way over western Cuba into the Gulf of Mexico. And we'll be monitoring the weather in the region of Florida as these outer squalls are going to be impacting the region there. And as always, I want to make sure that we thank all of our subscribers for tuning in to our very latest update for Hurricane Ida as it makes its way towards New Orleans area. And once again, you can see the distance between the weather in New Orleans and the hurricane, and they're actually receiving precipitation in the region of Louisiana along the coast, and that is not good, considering that this area is actually prone to a lot of low-lying flooding, and this system is coming in and it's actually saturated soil. So please make sure that you take heed of all recommendations from your state, local government officials to evacuate the area and also seek shelter as needed going forward. Just keep in mind the timelines as far as the system moving in. We don't have much time that we're dealing with it. It will be a major storm in a matter of hours and by midday Saturday, and then you should start anticipating feeling changes in weather around the latter part in the evening on Saturday, with this system actually making its presence known in the very early mornings of Sunday. And then by the time midday of Sunday, then you'll definitely know that you have a major hurricane impacting the region on the way. But we just wanted to make sure that we provided this latest update for our subscribers, and also we are live streaming not only on YouTube but also Facebook, so that we can reach as many people as possible, so that you can prepare and ahead of this storm as it makes its way towards the New Orleans area. As we mentioned before, right now the stats on this storm are 80-mile-per-hour winds. The current location is about 22.1 north, 83.1 west, moving northwest at 15 miles per an hour. The pressure is about 985 millibars, and we anticipate a storm surge of 10 to 15 feet. Now, keep in mind that there's very little sharing and there's ample oceanic heat energy, so that is going to contribute to the fact that this system is going to intensify very, very quickly, and we do anticipate that as a result of upper level low, there's going to be ample ventilation of outflow, which basically means that this system is going to continue to tighten its structure. The eye wall will continue to be replenished, replaced, recycled, and tightened as it makes its way towards New Orleans, Louisiana coastline. And we will continue to monitor the pressure, and that will be an indicator of the outflow ventilation of the storm as it continues to tighten and increase in intensity as it approaches New Orleans, Lafayette, Baton Rouge. Please use this time to make your preparations for ahead of this storm, and please think of the safety of not only yourself, friends, family moving forward, and we do wish you the best in preparing for this storm. Please take advantage of all outreach from state and local city officials to try and assist you with providing a maximum safety as you prepare for Hurricane Ida for landfall in the region of New Orleans, Louisiana. Well, thank you for watching BioNews Network. We'll continue to monitor the system. We will prepare our next forecast for you as we get more information about this storm from the National Hurricane Center. And please make sure that you bow to the weather, and make sure you smash that like button if this content is really good for you as well as served you well, and smash the notification bell so that you'll be updated for our next live stream weather update going forward for this storm. And just let us keep one thing in mind as far as the timeline is concerned. We're looking at possibly feeling the effects in the New Orleans area of Hurricane Ida in the later evening of Saturday, and then of course it's going to definitely feel you definitely feel the tropical storm force winds initially, possibly around Sunday morning, and then after that, then it's just going to be downhill from there as far as the surge, the flooding, the rain, and everything else that's traumatic and with this storm hurricane coming in. Well, thank you for watching BioNews Network. As always, we want to thank all of our subscribers for tuning in, and please make sure that you tune in for our next update on Hurricane Ida as it exits the region of Cuba, venturing into the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards on a northwest track towards the New Orleans, Louisiana coastline, possibly impacting the region on late Sunday, landfall late Sunday. Thank you for watching BioNews Network. Have a great day.